Welcome back to the show. Here we go. You have never lost to a competitor, a market, a coach, or a bad break. Every loss you've ever taken, you took to yourself. Conquer that, and everything else is just logistics. That is the show today that we're going to talk about. It was a line from Andy Frisella the other day. He said, every loss you have ever taken was to yourself, all of them. That hit me different this week because it really makes you think about how you're the solution, you're the problem. And it's a hard pill to swallow because on one hand, it's awesome to be the solution. That makes you happy. But on the flip side of the coin, if you're the problem, you almost have to look internally when things aren't going the way you want, or you're not winning the way you want, or you're not getting the result that you want. And it's one of those things that at times it can be hard to, maybe want to blame other people or quit or feel like you've given it everything you got. But this reminder that it's you're the problem, you're the solution, is huge. To iterate this even more, little story from this week. So I'm on a sales team right now, and the top guy is crushing all of us. He's light years ahead of us, right? In terms of his numbers, in terms of his sales. It's interesting how it's like the top guy, and then you go a little bit further, and then you got second place, third place, fourth place, and it kind of everybody's stacked up, right? A few deals off, but the top guy is crushing. And this week I texted him, and I was like, man, what would you recommend? I've been watching your calls, I've been studying what you're doing, but I'm curious, was there anything that you really resonate with? Mentors, coaches, training, sales training. I was just wondering if you would recommend anything for me to get better. And he responded in a way that really hit me. He was like, the biggest thing I realized is it's really my mindset. And I already have, I've done enough trainings to have some skills, but it's mindset, and mentality going into the calls, and just having a real conversation with these guys seems to make things go well for me. And at first I'm like, oh, dang, you didn't give me anything. But then I read it over and over again, and I was like, wow, it goes back to this quote from Andy. Every loss you've ever taken was to yourself, every single one. And so if I want to get better, if I want to conquer this next version, I've got to look inside of me. How am I showing up? What am I doing that could improve, right? In every aspect. And so I thought it was such good advice from him. And a good reminder for all of us, right? In whatever career we're in or whatever we're doing, to self-reflect on that. The best guy talked about how he realized that it was his energy and his way that he came to the call that was affecting the calls more than anything else. Not what he said, not his rebuttals, not word tracks, not anything else, right? So that was number one. Nothing is stopping you. You're the only one. That is. The obstacle is very rarely anything other than yourself. Now, there are times when things get in your way and you got to get around that to succeed or to have success. But a lot of times the obstacle is us. And sometimes the obstacle is you, in terms of you should have pivoted. You should move on to the next thing. You should have, been more in line with yourself to find the next path that you should take. I'm not saying that you shouldn't make adjustments or that you should always just keep blaming it on yourself. But that's the point, is it's always on you to make those difficult decisions and to move on. So then Frisella, he talks about that this other side, right? This other side of you that has conquered all of this, because it gives you that confidence again. Nothing to this point has broke you. Everything that's come your way, if you look back on your life, there's been a lot of obstacles that you've overcome. every single person has. Doesn't matter who you are. You can look back over the last 10, 20 years of your life and be like, holy crap, I overcame this that I thought was going to end me. I overcame this that I thought was going to end me. This I thought was going to completely wreck me. And every single time you've overcome that, and that can bring a sense of you can do it again as well. And you don't have to carry around anxiety knowing that all the other times that this has happened, you've been able to make it through, right? There's been some hard stretches in my sales career where it was dark, right? In sales, it can be some of the highest of highs and some of the lowest of lows. And it's a good reminder that you've overcome it before. So this is just another mountain that you got to climb in all areas of life. Okay. So the last segment that I wanted to talk about, because I've talked about this before and I don't want to hit on this too much. I've already done a whole podcast on, being pretty good is keeping you from great. I truly believe that that's one of the biggest limiters that limited me. And it can limit people big time because it keeps you from truly accomplishing what you can because you're not willing to let go of just good. You got to let go of, even if you're great, you got to let go of being great to be excellent. You got to let go of being average to be good. And it's just a continual ladder that you got to climb. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is winning so big that it answers everything. When you win so big, a lot of the other small issues or problems or things that are happening, they don't disappear, but they have less severity. They just don't matter as much, right? Another way of putting it is, as you climb up, you worry about big problems because if you solve those problems, you don't have to worry about the little problems. And it's kind of that nuance of, make it happen, do it in a way that's big enough that you don't have to worry about the little things people said about you. Just use all of that as ignition to truly make it happen. Don't let the people who counted you out be right. And that's a huge win for me. And a huge reminder for me as well. I think the last thing I want to talk about is one of the things that I've really been learning and studying about and contemplating is I can have belief in myself, which is awesome. But one of the things I'm really working on is having belief in other people and having just as much belief in other people as I do in myself, if not more, right? And it's been so cool because now when I get on on a sales call, I have belief in that person. I believe in them to the core because I know that they can do it. Anybody that's been successful, if they've been able to do it, so can I, so can you, right? And that belief is huge because if you carry around that belief, no matter what someone tells you why they can't do something, I can't get in shape because of this, it's not even relevant. You're like, no, I believe in you. I know you can do it, right? And that belief comes as well as, believing in God, right? We are all, God's creation. And so if I don't believe in somebody, I don't believe in God, right? And I'll say that again, right? If you don't believe in somebody, that's essentially saying you don't believe in God's creation. And so that's a way I've been looking at it when I get on sales calls with people that maybe in the past I'd be like, they might not have it or it's maybe not for them. No, I stop myself now. I believe in you 100%. You can absolutely do this. Anybody can. And, being a parent as well, it's like you believe in your kids to the fullest degree. Why not believe in this stranger that I'm talking to on a call? And it's been powerful for me. It's made my calls go a little more smooth. It's made me feel a little more caring for people that I talk to. And it reminds me to believe in myself, because when I believe in somebody else, you got to believe in yourself too. And I think it's just a good full circle for me with that belief. You believe there's greatness in every single person, in every person, and you just want to get them to bring that out of them. And all the people that are listening to this podcast, I'd say the same thing to you. You have absolute greatness inside of you. Anything that you want to do, you can do. It's as simple as deciding to do it. And that's what I want to leave with. Decide that you're going to be that greatness for yourself, and then believe in other people the same way, right? uh, until next time,